Hello everyone. So today in this session we are going to talk about the oogenesis. In the last session we were discussing about the spermatogenesis and then structure of sperm and the hormones and about the hormones we talked yesterday, and today finally we are in the oogenesis. So the oogenesis, as I told you, it is far differ from the spermatogenesis. How it become far differ? One thing is, the basic thing of the oogenesis is, as you know, it takes place in female reproductive tract or in the females, and it is quite discontinuous stage or discontinuous process. How it become discontinuous? Because in the spermatogenesis we studied at the puberty, concentrate on my words, at the puberty the sperms releases from the seminiferous tubule, but here in the oogenesis it won't happens like this. It means some changes will be there, I will tell you that. So one thing is, it is a discontinuous process, no doubt it takes place in the female reproductive tract, and with this at the last stage or at the end it won't produces 4 eggs, as like in the spermatogenesis the resultant product of the meiosis, it gave rise to 4 spermatid that mature into sperms. That all we studied in the spermatogenesis, right? But it won't happen in the oogenesis. At the end of the oogenesis only 1 egg releases. How? We'll see this, we'll see one by one now. The first thing I would like to mention here, in the oogenesis is nothing but process of production of ovum or egg in the ovaries. As we know, in the previous sessions we learned about the female reproductive tract. It is having 2 ovaries. The female reproductive tract have 2 ovaries, a pair of ovaries, and in that ovaries all this process takes place, and with this we saw that too, from the ovaries through the fallopian duct or fallopian tube the egg travels, and then at the uterus it gets settled. Only the fertilized egg will settle in the uterus, and then the next process takes place later on, that we will see in the next concept. But in this concept we will see how the oogenesis takes place. So there is some very interesting concept is there. Before going to start with the oogonia, it will produce like this, like that, like that, like that. So let me tell you the thing which is related to oogenesis. So that is when the female is in fetus condition, the female still it is in a fetus condition, embryonic stage. So in that stage itself the primary follicles develops. Okay, are you getting my point? It is not started, it is not going to start at the puberty, it is not going to start at the age of 12 or 11. So right from the embryonic stage, the primary follicles. What is primary follicles? These are nothing but oogonia. You can call it as simply, you just take this as the primary follicles. What is this? Oogonia. So these primary follicles, they start germinating, they start producing at the embryonic stage, when the fetus still it is in a mother's womb. That gestation, that embryonic stage, from the embryonic stage itself primary follicles start producing. That too, let me mention that also. Let me mention the gestation period of that fetus. That gestation period will be only 1 month. When the fetus is in 1 month, the primary follicles begin proliferate. It start its production. How many primary follicles will be present? There will be 1700 follicles will be present at the gestation of 1 month. Alright. So, this primary follicles, it will germinate further. How many follicles will germinate? When the embryonic stage reaches to 2 months. When the fetus will be of 2 months. When it goes to move on further, like it will start development. No, when the fetus will be of 2 months, the primary follicles, the 1700 to, it will grow or it will germinate to 6 lakh. Alright, so you just calculate all these primary follicles. So right from the fetus itself, the primary follicles start germinating, start producing in the ovaries. So after that, when the fetus grows to 5 months, when the fetus is of 5 months, the primary follicles will be 7 million in number. 7 million in number. Okay. So, the primary follicles will be of 7 million in number. What about next? When the fetus at the time of birth, at the time of parturition or at birth time, the number reduces. It will reduce to 2 lakh. How come it become less? So what happened here? What will happen here? The 7 million primary follicles will take the rest stage, not rest stage, it will become shrinkage takes place in the primary follicles. So at the 1 month fetus, the primary follicles will be of 1700 and then it reaches to 6 lakh and then 7 million. At the time of birth, it has reduced its number to 2 lakh. How? Because of the atresia. Atresia is nothing but shrinkage of primary follicles. The primary follicles become reduced its number. Because of this, it get reduced its number. And at birth, till it reaches to the puberty. So just think, a female, she is reaching to the puberty at the age of 11 or 12. Okay, so that year gap is there, no. So that gap will be, in that gap, the primary follicles, again it reduced its number. From 2 lakh, it will reduce to 60,000 to 80,000 to 60,000 in numbers. 80k to 60k. It means from 2 lakh to 80 to 60,000 primary follicles have reduced. They have reduced its number. Why? Because of this atresia, because of the shrinkage of primary follicles. Alright, so when the puberty, when the female, when she faces her first menstrual cycle, when she wears the first menstrual cycle, the egg will release, so on and so on. We have learnt all this in the lower classes. But what will happen here? The out of 8k or 60k, only 500 more primary follicles. Only the primary follicles. How much? how many? 500 primary follicles. Only this much will remain at the time. From 80,000 or 60,000 primary follicles to 500 primary follicles, again it has reduced its number. Alright, so out of 500, only one at the time of menstrual cycle, only one ovum. I am taking the word ovum. Why? I will tell you, I will describe you in the next concept. So, only one ovum will come out. From where? From the ovaries. From here will start the process. Alright, so you can see this, the oogonia, when the female is in a 1 month fetus or in the at this stage, embryonic stage, that fetus will be having 1700 follicles, and then it suddenly it will proliferate to 6 lakh, and then again it proliferate to 7 million, and then next atresia takes place. The atresia is nothing but shrinkage of primary follicles. Because of that shrinkage, the primary follicle reduces its number. At the time of birth, the female will be having only 2 lakh of primary follicles in the ovary, and then when she gains the puberty, again the primary follicle number reduces. Only out of 500 molecules, the only 500 primary follicles, only one will come out. We will see that here. The first thing is oogenesis, the formation of process of formation of egg from the ovaries. Let me draw one diagram here. Just consider this is the ovary, a section of ovary. I am drawing the section of ovary here. You just think here, number of primary follicles are present. Number of primary follicles means 500 primary follicles are present. Just one more thing I want to add here. The 500 primary follicles, out of 500 primary follicles, only one primary follicle it will gain, or it will gain the meiotic division, or it will go to the meiotic division, and then again in the next month from the same primary follicles, one more primary follicle it will attain the meiotic division. Like that, when right from the age of 12th till the age of 40 to 42 or 45, till she reaches to the menopause. So out of these in this period, right, like 33 years or 40 years, in these years every month one primary follicles come out from the ovary, and they take the divisions, and then the next process continues. Okay, if you got the idea, we can proceed with this. So if you are not getting, just message me, I'll explain you one more time. So what we are having here, we are having the section of ovary. In this section, we are having number of primary follicles. Alright, so how they become? Because of the multiplication, first they undergo multiplication, again it and then next it attains the atresia, and then because of the loss in number, they ended up to 500 primary follicles. And now one primary follicle, this is one primary follicle, it forms some granulosa cells to the boundary of this primary follicle. It forms some boundary, some cells. It covers the granulosa cells, and then again it covered by a theca, external theca. So all these things happening in the primary follicle. Why so? Because it has to undergo some division. It has to nourish itself by these cells. Okay, so later on it will keep on developing some cells. The primary follicle remain as it is, having 2n, having diploid chromosome. Don't forget, it contains diploid chromosome. Still the meiotic division doesn't occur. So until the meiotic division occurs, you have to remember the primary follicles or whatever we are now talking about, it is of 2n chromosome. And then next, so it is surrounded by the granulosa cells, and then external theca. All these things are there around the primary follicle. Now I'll write here. So what are these? These are the primary follicles at the fetal stage, and then multiplication. After multiplication, what we are having here? We are having one thing. This is the oogonia or primary follicle. After multiplication, this oogonia or the primary follicle, it matures, or we can call it as phase of growth. So before maturation there is one phase known as phase of growth. That phase comes under this region. So after attaining growth in the oogonia, it will become like this. How the growth take place in the oogonia? By means of vitellogenesis. Vitellosis, it means formation of yolk. Here the cytoplasmic content increases its number, so that it becomes, so when the yolk content it become more, or the cytoplasmic content increases, the size of the oogonia automatically it increases. Now this oogonia, what we are going to call this as? We are going to call this as primary oocyte. Alright. So this primary oocyte, it takes first meiotic division. First meiotic division, it means prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1, all these stages come across in the primary oocyte. The result of the primary oocyte will be of 2 cells. But here some differences are there in these resultant cells. One will be very smaller in size cell. The nucleus, think this is the nucleus what I am drawing first, and it is surrounded by cytoplasmic content. That cytoplasmic content will be reduced in number, or it will be very less in content, and one more will be all the cytoplasmic content will be in this oocyte. So this oocyte, we have to take this, or we have to call this oocyte as secondary oocyte. Now, so why the difference between these two? That is because of the unequal distribution of cytoplasm after the first meiotic division, after the karyokinesis. When it takes the cytokinesis, because of the unequal distribution of cytoplasm, it happens like this, and this is the necessary, what is that, division. So this small cell or small secondary oocyte is known as first polar body. So this is the first polar body. Alright, and this will be the secondary oocyte, and don't forget to call this as polar body, don't call this as secondary oocyte. So the cytoplasmic content, whatever is there in this big size cell is there, no. So that cell is known as secondary oocyte. Coming from the primary oocyte, it has taken only the one meiotic division, first meiotic division, that is nothing but reductional division, where it has reduced its number, chromosome number, to half. Earlier in this 2n chromosome were there, but now here only n chromosome numbers, chromosomes or half of the chromosomes will be present in the secondary oocyte. Either X, only X will be there, no. In females 44XX, 22X and 22X. Only in sperms we can call it as 22X or 22Y. So concentrate this. The primary oocyte, when it takes the first meiotic division, it undergoes some resting period. It will rest its stage at the diplotin stage. However, the menstrual cycle begins. If today is the menstrual cycle, before the day or 10 to 14 day or before that period, what will be the position, what will be the condition of primary oocyte? It will be in the resting stage. Where it get rest? It will be at the rest of, it will be in the resting period of which stage? Diplotin stage. And then after the primary oocyte, when it takes the first meiotic division, what we are having here? We are having the secondary oocyte. So that is n chromosome number. So let me draw here the primary follicles, and then it is covered, it get covered by some granulosa cells and external theca, and then this, after the follicles, the formation of cells, granulosa cells, it is, let me draw here a fluid. So this is the follicle, okay, and these are the granulosa cells, and in between, in the central part of this follicle, there is a cavity filled with a fluid. So that cavity is known as antrum. Think this, if the antrum has formed, think that follicle or that structure is known as a tertiary follicle having a oocyte. So this is the oocyte, and it is covered by a fluid filled cavity and granulosa and external theca and internal theca. Okay, so what is the next stage? So this is the ovary. Alright, think here infundibulum will be present, and then fimbriae, infundibulum, fimbriae. Through that infundibulum or through that fallopian tube, the ovum, it has to pass. So that is the way of the ovum. How it releases, at what stage it will releases. So that is nothing but secondary. Again, let me complete this one. So the secondary oocyte, no doubt this polar body may be or may not be, it will divide. If it is dividing, it gives rise to two more polar body. So these are the two polar bodies, and this secondary oocyte, it takes second meiotic division, giving rise to, so consider this as a ovum, and this will be the one more polar body. So the ovum, we are talking about that ovum if it is present in this Graafian follicle. So I have started taking the word as Graafian follicle. So the Graafian follicle will be a fully formed structure where it is having or it is covered by some cells, granulosa cells and a cavity, and it is having the ovum. Now the thing is, now the concept is, this ovum should passes, the Graafian follicle should rupture, and when it get rupture, it has to pass through this fallopian tube, and then ruptured. So think I am sending this egg into the fallopian tube. So that is the infundibulum part here. The ruptured Graafian follicle, it will come this side. So this is the ruptured Graafian follicle. We are going to call that as corpus luteum. Corpus luteum. The function of corpus luteum, only when the egg get fertilizes, the corpus luteum secretes some progesterone hormones. Okay, so the corpus luteum, when it secretes the hormones only when the egg fertilizes, rather than it will degenerate. It will just degenerate. Alright. So the egg is in the fallopian tube now. You have to consider this like only egg will be present. It won't be covered by any cells or any any substance or what. Yes, it is. It will be covered by some cells known as zona pellucida. Not only zona pellucida, but the structure of egg we will talk about a little bit later. So just think, this is the ovum entering inside the fallopian tube from the complete mature Graafian follicle. How the Graafian follicle forms? When the primary, however the primary oocyte start dividing, takes the meiotic division. So the meantime, the follicles also forms some granulosa cells and then thecas and then cavities. Like that, the Graafian follicles mature. When the oocyte comes to the ovum, when it reaches to the secondary oocyte or when it reaches to the ovum, then it rupture. It just rupture. Any part of this Graafian follicle, it will just open so that it enter inside the fallopian tube. Now the thing is, let me tell you one more thing here. The secondary oocyte, when it give rise to one ovum or the secondary meiotic division takes place, here one more concept is there. The secondary meiotic division, complete meiotic division won't occur in the secondary oocyte. The secondary oocyte, it will get arrest at the metaphase stage, metaphase 2 stage. It means the secondary oocyte is now at the secondary oocyte here we are talking about, or the ovum what we are having in the fallopian tube. It has not completed its division. It has not completed its meiotic division. It is still in the metaphase. The chromosomes are at the equatorial plate. Why? What is the reason behind it? Because it has lost its centriole. No more centrioles will be present inside the ovum to separate the chromosomes for that activity. Okay, so let me tell you, the secondary oocyte is triggered, it has arrested its stage at metaphase 2. The metaphase 2 chromosomes are in the ovum, it is going through the fallopian tube, and then this fallopian tube, when, the ovum, when it comes to the ampulla isthmic junction, or when it reaches to the ampullar region, meantime sperms enter inside the female reproductive tract, the fertilization occurs. All right. After the fertilization, the sperms, it releases its content. Content means the nucleus and all, that fertilization part. After this we are going to study that fertilization part. Only some little amount, little content I am going to describe you here. The nucleus and the centrioles. The nucleus, the basic thing is, if we need to understand about the fertilization, it will penetrate, it will release its content inside the ovum. All right. So in that content, the paternal chromosomes will be present. That paternal chromosome, it will fuse with the maternal chromosome, and then now the ovum is at the metaphase 2 stage. It needs the centrioles. From where it is getting the centrioles? From the sperm it is getting the centrioles. Still it has not completed its division, mitotic division. When the sperm penetrates, or when the sperm enter inside the ovum, then only it completes the meiotic division. So this you have to remember in the oogenesis. So that is all about the oogenesis. When the sperm enter inside the ovum, the formation of egg takes place, and then zygote forms, and then next cleavages occurs, and then blastula, morula, gastrula, all these stages keep on going. All right. So this is all about the oogenesis. But you have to understand here the ovaries, about the ovary, and in the ovary primary follicles, and then right from the fetus, or right from the embryonic stage, the primary follicles start developing. It will be of 7 millions, but it reduces its number by means of shrinkage or by means of atresia, and at the puberty only one primary follicle, it grows. The growth phase of oogonia is known as primary oocyte. It takes the first meiotic division and then the second meiotic division. The secondary oocyte, the primary oocyte, when it takes the first meiotic division, the resultant product will be the secondary oocyte. Only one secondary oocyte will be there. The one more will be the one more cell will be known as polar body. Why? Only because of the unequal distribution of cytoplasm. And then the secondary oocyte, or in some books they have given secondary oocyte or ovum, it get arrest at the stage of second meiotic division, second metaphase stage. Only when it receives the sperm, it will complete its meiotic division, so on and so on they have given. But you have to understand about till here you have to understand about the oogenesis. After this, after the oogenesis, we will speak about the hormones in the next session. So till here you have to understand, you have to write it in the word and you have to show me. Don't copy the same whatever I have written in the board, don't copy. You have to write it, you have to show it to me. Okay. And one more thing, the assignment, today's homework is draw, I'll give 2 questions. Okay, one is describe the structure of human sperm, that is for 5 marks. You have to describe the human sperm, and whatever you know, whatever it will be easier for you about the oogenesis. If you understood about the oogenesis, just write it and submit to me. Thank you.